So most of the actual footage I got from the WNBF Supernaturals was stage time. Shout out to Jasmine for filming it all. So I'm going to provide a little bit of a running commentary of my time on stage. Now, this was a stat class. On the lead up, my coach and I decided to actually go a little bit more carbs on the day. Just thinking back to Dubai and the full look I brought when I went for a little bit more food, and we knew the lineup today was going to be stacked, and with some bigger guys, we knew they were favouring that bigger look. So I went for a little bit more carbs, and it did pay off. I felt like I brought that sort of bubbly top line which I had in Dubai. Now this was stacked, and there were some guys I'd previously competed against, including Tom, who had beaten me in the UKDFBA British finals. So I was quite nervous going into the show, and just with the amount of guys I knew I'd be up against some very good competitors. Also, a shout out to my client Greg there, who you can just see to the left of the WNBF sign, 53, stepping on stage for the first time. Absolutely unbelievable, inspirational to me even. You know, age is just a number. You can step on the stage at any age. You just need to put your mind to it, and you need to just work hard. So with this, they didn't actually do like first call outs. They just brought us the first 7 on, and then the remainder of competitors went on, and then from there they decided the first call outs. But I felt confident, posing very well here, and I managed to hold my posing, and that just goes to show the sort of, you know, practice really does make all that difference, and holding those rounds, being able to hold the rounds for, you know, 30 seconds and longer is super important. It can literally move you up places. So I'm just going to let this run out, and I'll come back to the first call outs.
And face the front, gentlemen. Awesome work, relax. Thank you, gentlemen. Please go to the side of the stage. And can I have all of the other gentlemen forward? Just come straight forward. Keep in your lines. Keep in your lines.
So, first call outs now. And they weren't doing this in any particular order. So I was called out 4th in that first lineup. Again, I felt pretty confident. I was feeling good. And there we go, 4th there. Now, the guy to the side of me, again, this just kind of reconfirmed the fact that I'm not too big. It was a kind of nod to me that you're not too big for men's physique, because the guy to the left of me there is an absolute unit, looked absolutely incredible. And you'll see as we go into the back shot here how shredded he is from the back. Made a couple adjustments to the posing with Kez there, you could see in the sort of previous clips, just to kind of bring my delta out a little bit more in that front shot, and it really did pay off. I was really happy with the stage shots once they came back. But transitioning to the back here, you'll see what I mean with the shreds on the guy on the right. Unbelievable, really good back shot. Fairly happy with my back shot here. I will go into later describe kind of how I felt after the show as well. But yeah, overall fairly happy with this look. And then back to the front, we actually got moved into centre, and this was a huge boost in confidence. I knew now that I was contesting potentially for a top 3 spot. And that really kind of elevated my presence on stage as well, gave me that boost I needed. And here we go for another call out. As I say, we were really worked hard here, the hardest I've worked all season. So just my goal for the show was just to be able to hold that front shot and really hold it hard, which I was doing. And the delt, also that little change made a huge difference in that front shot as well. So here we are for another call out. It was very close. This, as I say, this was a stat class, and you can see how close it is there. Guys all looking huge as well. So I'm just going to let this play out and stay tuned for the result.
Go on, Chris! Yes, go Chris! Go on, Chris! Go on, Chris! Go Chris! Go on, Chris!
Quarter turn to your right.
Go on, Chris! Go on, Chris! Tight, tight!
And face the front, guys.
class, and so we are going to be awarding the top 5, all with invites to this year's World. Could we take that medal in 5th place to number 142, Emmanuel? In 4th place, could we take the medal please and give it to competitor 154, Tom Stockton?
Well done, Tom.
In 3rd place, and our bronze medal today, could we take that to competitor 137, Chris Rendell?
Oh. Well done, Chris. Well done, Chris.
Well done, Chris. Moving on to our silver medal. And
Guys, a massive round of applause. Thank you so much. Please step to the stage and we'll have you back on stage again in another year. Thank you guys. Top 5. Strike a pose for Bibbles behind me. Your top 5. Awesome work guys. And top 3 on the road. Thank you guys. We'll speak to you soon about your invites. Top 3, strike a pose for us. And the winner on his own. Thank you, the winner on his own.
So guys, as you can probably tell from the colour of my skin and the fullness in my cheeks, it's actually a couple of weeks post-show now. Unfortunately, after the show, I didn't record too much. I was just kind of too busy soaking up the moment, reflecting, and quite frankly, quite exhausted after doing 4 shows on back-to-back weekends. Now, obviously, I don't have some of the clips from the shows I did after the PCA qualifier, so I'm going to explain a little bit here. I'll try and get some clips up as well. But I then went on to do the UKDFBA British Finals, the one I qualified for at the Heart of England show. You can go and watch the vlog. And at that show, unfortunately, I didn't do as well as I'd hoped. I didn't place at all. There was 7 of us at that show. And what we figured from the results is I was just a bit too big and kind of were mismatched to the criteria they were looking for there. And this is a learning sort of curve, not learning curve, a lesson from the prep is don't let a single result define you as an athlete. It can be hard to take these results on the chin, so I would always recommend taking a day after because you are going to be upset, but then regroup with your coach, think about it logically, and then you just got to move on. And that's exactly what we did. We went into the PCA British Finals the week after. And again, at that show, I didn't quite get the result I wanted either. At that show, I went in with no expectations. Obviously, the PCA show was a huge one for me, winning an untested Fed. Going into that show, I knew I was going to be up against the best sort of juicy guys in Britain. And I knew it was going to be tough. So my kind of expectation in my head was to make first call-outs. Unfortunately, we just missed out on that, and I was first in the second call-out, so I was probably finishing about 9th at that show. I do think my physique was perhaps overlooked just a tiny bit, but it wasn't my best look. I felt after those 2 shows, starting to get a little bit fatigued, so my physique was a little bit washed out, and there was some stressors before that show. So I actually thought I was in the tall class, but I was actually a medium, and I didn't know that until the last minute. Got not the best pump up. It caused quite a bit of stress, and it also meant I was on earlier, and I was actually not near the pump up zone and got a phone call to say, "Where are you?" which stressed me out. But then in the end, these things happen, but again, it's another lesson to take into next season. Make sure you are exactly clued up with where you have to be in. Sometimes your mind wanders a little bit. That's why it can be useful having a coach with you at the show to keep you right. At that show, unfortunately, I didn't have my coach with me, but my coach, you know, he can't go to every single show. I did 6 shows the whole season. He was at 5 of them out of 6. So, like, shout out to Vaughn, because he was brilliant, and you know, I wouldn't expect him to be at every single show, but that is a lesson for me in the future. So yeah, unfortunately didn't quite get the result. And then after that show, it was a little bit of a low, to be honest with you. Obviously, in two weekends back to back, not quite getting the result you want and not placing. It's the first time I've not ever placed in any shows. So in itself, that was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, really, for a couple of days. And then you have to get that sort of logical thinking cap back on and think, well, you know, the WNBF, I did well in the Dubai show. I know they're looking for a slightly bigger men's physique look there. So I thought, well, it's a level playing field as well. You know, I'm against natural guys again, so let's just go for it. So that's what I did. After 2 days of, you know, being a little bit down, we pushed on towards the Supernaturals, and obviously I've recorded that all here. Again, I apologise for not getting too much in the way of speaking. You can kind of tell I was right at the end of my season, quite tired. Sort of really just focusing on the show and not doing too much in the way of recording. I let Jasmine record a lot of the footage from today. But the Supernaturals, what a great show it was. The whole day was ran really smoothly. I competed obviously with the WNBF UK in 2021. It was fantastic then, but up another notch once again this year. Just overall, it was probably my best show experience. I know a lot of people from the WNBF UK, again, just from competing before, so I got to meet a lot of sort of familiar faces, chat to a lot of people, catch up with a lot of people, and it was just a really nice way to sort of conclude the season. We had hoped for sort of the British title there once again. But what I've noted from this year is the standards just getting higher and higher. But it was the final piece of data I really needed to confirm that I still belong in men's physique. I just need to stay with the WNBF in the Natty Feds. And to be honest with you, the plan going forward, I had debated whether or not I would just go into like bodybuilding, but I love competing in men's physique. I love the category. I love the posing. It would be nice to have an individual sort of posing routine, but I think that's a bit hard for men's physique, and you can have a creative spin on your eye walk anyway. It's just about, you know, I obviously reached out to Kez and really got some work done on my posing this season, and it really did pay off. It really did show in my stage presence, I think, from those clips previously. So yeah, I will be staying in men's physique. I'll be taking as long as I need to. Really, I have a lot of sort of life things on. I want to focus on my business. I want to focus on taking my own clients to the stage over the next couple of years. And then I can really focus on myself once again and try and smash it in either 2025 or 2026. Most likely looking like 2026. And I will just be purely competing in men's physique at the WNBF because the goal is a WNBF pro card. So, you know, I'll be going to just all the qualifiers there. I'll be doing probably a lot of the European scene. Again, I think my look's probably favoured a little bit more in the European scene where some of the guys are maybe a bit bigger. I just watched the WNBF Germany most recently. Again, huge guys. So I don't think size is an issue. I am going to do a full video on the plans for the off season and how I'm sort of reversing out of this prep, so stay tuned for that. But some of the big takeaways from this prep and to share with you guys is one is the mindset aspect of it, right? It's not necessarily the physical side of things, which is hard. The mind games that play in during prep can be really, really tough. And I'm so glad I reached out to Susan to help me with that and help me sort of level up my mindset. So it would be an overlooked factor for a lot of competitors is not to work on sort of, you know, mindset. And I would advise, like, actually going ahead and hiring a mindset coach, because it can really help with you to sort of bounce back from those losses, and that's exactly what it did help me with this season, because there were a few times I didn't quite get the result I wanted, obviously. Number 2 is not to start my prep in such a heavy at such a heavy body weight. I had way too much to lose, and that meant that I didn't quite come in as conditioned for the Dubai show. I think if I did come in like a condition, this is on hindsight, I might have crept into that first place in my height class, but you know, again, it was very close at that show, so that's a lesson. And another one is to strategically plan out your prep. So, you know, if your goal is to win a WNBF Pro card, you need to really go all in on that goal. Don't worry about the shows that don't mean so much to you. Just focus on the shows that are going to allow you to achieve that goal, so allow you to go down that path. So that's, for me, next time is just purely focus on WNBF. And that's going to be the goal, and to strategically have them so I'm not doing 4 shows in back-to-back weekends. I think it can be done. I think it's very individual dependent, but what I didn't realize from doing those back-to-back shows was the accumulation of stress, not just on how long I'd been dieting, but from the sort of traveling back and forward to the shows, from pulling back down and then loading up again. At the end, I don't think my look was quite at its peak for that WNBF Supernaturals, although I was really happy with the look on the day, and over the moon with 3rd place because it was a stat class. So once again, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today, but thanks for following along on my journey. This is the conclusion to the prep season 2023. If you've got any more questions on my prep, or if you need some help with your prep, please drop me a message below in the comments, or head over to my Instagram, fire me a message there. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you in the next season, which is going to be my off season. Okay, guys, see you later.